Good evening and welcome to the live stream coverage of tonight's 3-hour endurance race of Interlagos. Tonight we've got 9 teams taking part in a 3-hour endurance race. And at the moment we've got the Team Misfits, sorry, not Team Misfits, Purple Helmets. Cool, so apologies for the delay there, guys. I'm sorry, we're supposed to do a rolling start. It's actually race control's fault. That's my fault. We are just about to start the 3-hour endurance race here at Simply Race Milton Keynes. We're doing a 3-hour endurance race at Interlagos, which is the track we'll be using for this for our 24-hour race later in the year. So a lot of the teams getting some practice in. There's only 9 teams today. Well, I say only 9's a good turnout. So 9 teams, but later in the year we've got a confirmed 14 teams for our racing in November. That's the 5th and 6th of November. So tonight is a good test for the drivers and the teams to sort of gauge how Interlagos works for an endurance race. It's also a good test to see how some of the newer teams to the endurance racing here at Simply Race do with the intricacies of endurance racing. It's not just a sprint race, so it's not all about very close wheel-to-wheel contact, although I'm sure there will be some this evening. It's also a lot to do with time management, fuel management, knowing when to push, when to look after your tyres, and in some cases, as we found in the NASCAR race did on Wednesday, coasting to make sure that you can make sure that your car finishes. Tonight we're going to be using damage on the cars. So endurance racing does require their teams to look after the cars much more than they do in sprint racing. So it'll be interesting to see which teams end up with that. There's also full rules as well, so drivers have to make sure they are careful and slow in the pits as well. I'm just waiting for the nod from race control so when we can start. Okay, so we're just going to go for the restart then. We will put you back on track. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go again for our 3-hour endurance race here at Simply Race Milton Keynes. On pole position is Team Purple Helmets, who I believe have got Jack Ashton in the driving seat. So in second place, Team Misfits with Callum Cripps at the wheel, I believe, for the start of the race. Third place, Pulp Friction alongside their sister team, Friction Racing. Fifth place is us, Team Simply Race. So the instructors were also having a go, although we didn't have much time for practice, so we're down in fifth. Sixth place will be U Barracuda, with Team NKL qualifying in seventh. Team Turnbar are in eighth, and Scuderia Skittles in the not Friction Racing at all, Mission Motorsport team, the Aston car. So fairly pacey rolling lap from the pace car, and the drivers have to make sure they stay in their lane. Well, lots of people going wide. This is only a warm-up lap. They've been warned to just make sure they stay in lane, keep up with the pace car, especially the drivers at the back. There's a bit of a gap there between the number 7 car, that's Pulp Friction, and the purple car, so the right-hand lane. So they need to catch up a little bit to allow the other drivers to catch up. A lot of the time with rolling starts, it can be a little bit tactical to catch the other drivers behind you off guard. Now, the inside line does have a little bit of an advantage. So it might be that I think Misfits end up on the inside line for turn number 1. So it'd be interesting to see if Callum makes a move and sticks with it coming into turn 1 as we cross the line. The drivers are going to have to back up and get themselves into lane. As the drivers are about to cross the line, safety car comes into the pits. We're here and ready for an organised 2x2 rolling start. Inside line Misfits, but pole position is Purple Helmets on the outside. It'd be interesting to see who can take the first corner. My money's probably on Callum Cripps sending it into turn 1. And the drivers have to be very careful, and there goes Misfits into the lead. And behind them, Purple Helmets are in second place. We're going to switch to a different camera. Third place, Friction Racing ahead of Pulp Friction. U Barracuda are in fifth place. I think that's moved up from sixth. Scuderia Skittles in sixth place. Team NKL in seventh. Team Turnbar in eighth place. And unfortunately, Team Simply Racer now down in ninth place. Something's happened to our driver, Lee Connell. I'm hearing from Race Control we got taken out by one of the other drivers. I think there'll be a penalty coming. So I'm just hearing there will be a time penalty for Scuderia Skittles. We'll try and bring you a replay of that in a moment if we can. So 2 hours and 58 minutes to go. We're not quite even around the first lap. This is Pulp Friction, two sister Porsches. We're going on board with them now as they come down the hill. Although, actually, let's get forward a couple of cars. Team Purple Helmets, Jack Ashton looking closely to overtake Callum Cripps. Callum Cripps got the jump on him at the start. Up the hill. Bit of a gap there now establishing. These drivers are treating it very well, like a proper endurance race. Doesn't matter too much if you don't make too many places in the first corner. But it's always important to stay in touch. And unfortunately, Team Simply Race are not in touch at the moment. As we go on board with Team NKL in their BMW Z4 through the turn 1. Tricky turn 1 Interlagos. They've got a good run coming out of turn number 3. Turn number 2. And they're tucking in through turn 3. Looking to get on the inside. They might need to tuck back in for a bit of a tow, but I don't know if they're going to make it on the brakes. Let's have a look. On the brakes hard from Team NKL. A bit of light contact there, and that did push Scooter and Skittles off the track, but they managed to rejoin, and they've rejoined ahead somehow. But a little bit too much contact in the opening laps. So still lots of pressure then from the BMW Z4 of Team NKL. This is for 6th position and only the second of our laps today. Lap times roughly 1 minute 30. So we should get through. I don't know. It's going to give us about 100 odd laps this afternoon, and good run again. As we come into the first corner. Oh no, way too wide for Team NKL. They're going to lose a place there, and that's the recovering Team Simply Race team. They're going to look to take advantage of that. If we just move ahead to our race leaders, this is a bit wide, first of all, from Purple Helmets. Purple Helmets in the Aston, a purple, strangely coloured Purple Helmets car. And they come through the fast section into the slower section. And nice and close between these two drivers. Also always pretty close competing in our Simply Race Touring Car Championship. And there's still a lot of close racing to happen between these two here, and they've got themselves a bit of a gap ahead of the two Friction Racing cars, and those two. In fact, those two. Let's have a jump back. The two Porsches might be fighting a little bit too much with each other and not concentrating enough on catching our race leaders. There's still plenty of time to go, though. We are just 5 minutes into a 3-hour race here at Simply Race. Those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, feel free to drop us a message. We'll do our best to kind of respond to any messages you leave us today. Obviously, we're upset that some of you guys who are watching at home would have been here today, but unfortunately had other commitments. Especially you guys, Radtech. Obviously, we're looking forward to seeing you guys in November. And so a lot of the drivers here today will also be here then. 5th and 6th of November. If you haven't booked a team yet, there's just one space remaining for our 24 hours of Interlagos. So just... So just to confirm, Team Scuderia Skittles have received even a 10-second stop-go penalty. That's a penalty for contact on Team Simply Race. You can't take off the organisers and then get away with it. They have received a penalty for aggressive manoeuvre at turn number 1 on the opening lap, which left Team Simply Race at the back. Although this is Team Simply Race, I'm not going to be biased. We are in the Corvette. We're going to go on board with Lee Connell, who's just fresh from a race win in the MG Metros at Silverstone with Team Purple Helmet. So he's a bit of a traitor today racing for us. And he makes a move nicely up the inside of Team Turnbar into turn number 1. Nicely done. And he moves up into 6th position. Bit of a gap between 6th and the next place, which is to Barracuda. Barracuda, a little bit wide there. The drivers have got to be careful. They will get penalties if they run too wide. And this is Friction Racing. Pulp Friction are in 3rd place. So we're on the bump and cone of the number 8 car. So just hearing that Scuderia Skittles came in, served their penalty, but actually then sped through the pit lane. In a moment of pity for the Scuderia Skittles team, the race control were nice enough to clear that penalty for Scuderia Skittles, so they're able to continue without any further penalties thus far. Anyway, there's still plenty of time to go. I have to say, what a fantastic job Dean Prescott's done on the friction racing skins. These two Porsches. We see our front runners in this one shot on board with, I think this is Darren Kirk in the friction racing team car, racing against his teammates. Here we go, you can see our leaders, our race leaders, Team Misfits, leading by 1.1 seconds ahead of Purple Helmets. Following them, we can see the two Porsches of Pulp Friction ahead, and then Friction Racing in fourth place. Then we've got Barracuda. Now we can gauge the gap. So behind them is Team Simply Race in the NVIDIA car, the NVIDIA Corvette, followed by the Z4 of Team Turnbar and the Z4 of Team NKL. And then there's a bit of a gap to our next group, which is Scuderia Skittles, who are serving a penalty for collision on the opening lap. So apologies if you haven't got a huge amount of in-car noise. We'll still do our best to increase that slightly for you. Bear with us for a second on that. So there we go. We should hopefully have a bit of volume for you now on the in-car sound as we go on board with the lovely Sun Porsche through the left-hander at Interlagos. On board with Darren Kirk. Very cool camera angles here at Interlagos. We'll see lots of different angles. The cars, especially through the slower sections. This is the mid section of Interlagos. A slower technical section, followed by this next section, which is downhill and very, very fast. As we follow the helicopter cam down the hill, braking hard, left-hander up the hill. And it's still very close between these two Porsches. They are dropping back a little bit to the race leaders. However, if we go on board now with the Purple Helmets, it's incredibly close between these two drivers. Number 4, Viper, Team Misfits, and Purple Helmets. So we've got Viper versus Aston at the moment. Coming through turn number 3, tucking into essentially, there's only less than 3/10 between the drivers. Is he going to make a move this time? I don't think so. He's not quite close enough. Not this time, anyway. There we go. I'm glad to know that Radtech, you've got your. We've got our car noises back, and Ashton's looking again, searching. He did drop back a bit a few laps ago, and now he's fully back on it. We're on board. Now we expect most teams to do an hour stint before hitting. Some teams might decide to get themselves a little bit out of kilter with the others. It's a bit about, well, it's quite a lot about strategy. You might find some of them coming quite early, try and get the undercut on the other teams, stretch a little bit longer and have a faster car toward the end of the race. It'll be interesting to see how different teams deal with it. The nose cam again. Oh, really, really close. So Jack Ashton almost tapping the back of Callum Cripps' Viper. And he's got a really good run coming out turn number 3. If he can stay in the slipstream, he might be able to find enough power to get past him. He's going to have a bit of a send-it moment. He's backed out. He's going to... the curbs here at Interlagos, you can see they're quite pronounced, but also key to get a good lap time around this circuit. Once again, guys, I want to say hello to anyone who's watching live on either Facebook or YouTube. Feel free to send us any comments you wish. We're going to be broadcasting the entire 3-hour race live through Facebook and YouTube. Feel free for questions. So this is the closest battle on the circuit. 2 Porsches are very close together as well. We'll try and keep an eye on that. Team Simply Race are hunting down Barracuda at the moment as well. We'll give you more news on that when we can. We're a quarter of an hour into our 3-hour race. And Jack Ashton's dropped back just a little bit, 6/10 back from Team Misfits. The drivers have got to make sure that this set of tyres lasts, and hearing some reports from drivers after qualifying that if you do lose it slightly, get a little bit sideways, flat spot your tyres, you really do feel the vibration through the excellent Thrustmaster wheels that we've got running here at Simply Race. And I was again making use of the curbs through turn number 1 and 2. Really close now. We go on board with Team Purple Helmets. Oh! There's a big crash there, and it's gone. That's our quality actually. That's let me see if I can reset our side. Race control are going to watch that in a different way, because that was our computer sort of laying out slightly. So unfortunately we can't bring you the best replay of it, and Race control are going to replay it that themselves, and they're going to come back on us about whether there's a penalty for Purple Helmets. I'm hearing that it is Purple Helmets' fault, and there is going to be a penalty, I believe. So that will be a 10-second stop-go penalty for Purple Helmets. One side effect of that incident between our race leaders means that both those cars are going to be carrying damage as well. So it's going to have to be one hell of a recovery drive from both Purple Helmets and Misfits to make sure they place on the podium today. They're going to have to, well, Purple Helmets are going to have to do 2 things. They're going to come in the pit lane for a stop-go penalty first of all. Purple Helmet's going to have to come into pit lane, serve a 10-second stop-go penalty, which is just being issued by the stewards now. They're then going to have to go back out again. He has to decide whether they come in and sort out, the damage. Depends on how much time they're losing a lap or how much time they feel they're losing a lap. It's only on very low damage, we're in 25% damage, but it was a very hard hit. So you imagine there's some, quite a bit of suspension damage. You probably see that the drivers are probably holding the wheels slightly to a slightly bent angle as a result of that. Interesting to see how Purple Helmets recover from this. 3-hour endurance, still plenty of things to happen. We've got lots still to play for, and there is the Ashton serving their stop-go penalty at the moment. At the front, though, these 2 Porsches that were fighting for 3rd and 4th place now suddenly fighting for 1st, and it's very close. Pulp Fiction leads Friction Racing by 0.4 of a second. So we've been robbed of one race to a certain extent, but another one has appeared. And elsewhere, Barracuda have been passed by Symphony Racing. Let's see if I can get that as well. I think it was Barracuda spinning out. Let's see if we can watch this now. Coming into the right-hander on the brakes. Oh, lots of curb. Unsettles the car. Is it going to be on the exit here? Or oh, there's a wiggle. Wide. A spin. You can see the Corvette just go past as well. So unfortunate for Barracuda, but still in 5th place. Still ahead of Team Purple Helmets. We're now all the way down in 8th position after one such an excellent qualifying, but also good start to the race and a close race with Team Misfits. Misfits still going round to see if they're lapping any slower. You can see the lap times on the left hand of your screen if you're watching it in high enough quality. Misfits still doing actually similar, in fact quicker lap times than the 2 Porsches ahead. So Callum Cripps working hard at the wheel of the Dodge Viper. We're waiting for Purple Helmets to cross the line again, looking to see what their lap times are like after that incident, see if they've lost any time at all. So we're just seeing that Barracuda may have made another spin. So coming down into the left-hander, it gets a little bit wide off the racing line. And rejoining on the grass, so it's just slightly off the grass track there, nothing too major for these drivers. And Team Turnbar in the number 9 car in the Z4. Similar place to Barracuda by the looks of things. Yeah, losing on the entry to the hairpin. It's very sideways, but manages to keep it going. So excellent control, managing to save that. Oh, and wide there from the number 8 car, so that's Friction Racing, and I think Darren Kirk in that car at the moment. So they've dropped back a little bit from Pulp Friction. Pulp Friction just set, I think, the best lap time of the race. Yep, so a 1:31.972, excellent lap time from Pulp Friction there, and the pressure obviously telling as Friction Racing making a mistake into turn 1. So only 2 seconds between these drivers, and 2 hours 39 minutes left to go. So Team Purple Helmets back up and running. Lots of also keeping us on the toes with the track limits perspective, as they're looking to catch back up. Last time around was 1:32.184, which was only 2/10 off the race leader, so it doesn't seem like they're losing a huge amount of time at the moment after that incident. They are looking to take some places back. 8th at the moment. There is the two teams, two Z4 teams, Team NKL and Purple Helmets, who are battling closely for BMW Pride. Although Barracuda was the highest Z4 team at the moment, in 5th place. Who are on board with Team NKL at the moment. So lovely noise from the back of the Z4. Doesn't seem like we're getting much closer. Very close in lap times between these two. It actually looks like quite far away, but there's only 0.6 of a second between these two drivers. Not a huge amount at all. In the background you should be able to see, or you could just see a little purple flash. Purple helmets gaining bit by bit. Last time round, purple helmets were 1.5 seconds quicker than these two drivers. So on that basis we should see them on the back of these two in about a lap's time. Oh, and there's a bit of contact from Team NKL. It's gone a bit wrong, and I think the Team NKL sort of slowed down to make sure the other driver took the position back, so it's quite honourable of them. But that has allowed Team Purple Helmets to go past. Warning from race control for the driver. On board with Jack Ashton through the left-hander. He's pretty close to the back of Team Turnbar now. Jack Ashton's been very quick all weekend in practice, qualifying the race. He's done quite a lot of practice before the preparation for this race and the 24-hour race in November. Close between these two drivers as they come into turn one. Jack Ashton gets later on the brakes, takes the position, so Purple Helmet's back up into 6th place now. A recovery drive is in progress. It's very close for 3rd place between Team Simply Race in the NVIDIA GeForce GTX car and Simply Race in Friction Racing in the Porsche. Now, I don't know what happened to Friction Racing, so they were in 2nd place. There's been quite a dramatic drop for them, so I'll see if we can find any information out about what happened to them. Friction Racing had a spin according to race control, so they had a spin all on their own, which has now put them down. Now, it was Friction Racing that I was talking to after practice, and they said there was quite a lot of vibration in the wheel afterwards after they flat-spotted their tyres in an instant by going a bit too sideways. So they're probably struggling now for both grip, traction, and also just hold on the wheel. It's actually quite tiring to race. There's a lot of forces being put through the wheel, and having a little bit extra bumping with them, some not quite so round tyres, means it's going to take a little bit more out of these drivers. So after a disastrous start for Team Simply Race, we're up into 3rd place now. They were taken out on the first lap by Scuderia Skittles. However, running 3rd place now isn't too bad at all. Just cycle through some different track cameras we get here at Interlagos. There we go. There's a lovely overview camera. You can see most of the track. In fact, you can see all of the track if we move the camera around. So a little bit spread out at the moment. So it's Pulp Friction who lead Team Misfits, who had an incident. They were leading at the start of the race, but had an incident with Team Purple Helmets. Team Purple Helmets have come in for a stop-go penalty as a result of that. Team Misfits are probably dealing with a little bit of damage, but are only 4.9 seconds or 5 seconds now behind our race leaders in second. Team Simply Race also had an incident, but on this time on the opening lap they had an incident with Scuderia Skittles, who also received a 10-second stop-go penalty. They are 13 seconds off the race lead, but lapping slightly quicker than our race leaders at the moment. In fourth place, we've got Friction Racing, so the second of the two Friction Racing cars in the Porsches, and they've had a couple of offs, which might mean that they've got a bit of not tyre damage, so to speak, but sort of imperfect tyres, flat spots causing vibrations. Fifth place is Barracuda. A good solid fifth place for them so far. Sixth place is Team Purple Helmets, who are recovering after their 10-second stop-go penalty and incident with Team Misfits on lap, I think it was lap 6 or 7. Team Turnbar in 7th place with Team NKL in 8th. As the two Z4s of Team Turnbar and NKL are close together, and Scuderia Skittles are 1 minute and 15 seconds off the race lead. We're half an hour into the race now. We can see some of the major battles ahead of us. And you might be able to see there if we try and zoom in. This is the battle there between Purple Helmets, who are catching Barracuda. Let's go with on board with Team Purple Helmets now through the last couple of corners. They are lapping quite a bit quicker, I think. So last time around 132.5 for Purple Helmets, 134.2 for Barracuda. Coming across the start-finish line, there's a second or so between them. We're just under a second now, just a couple of tenths. Excellent under braking as always is Jack Ashton. And they gain a couple more tenths coming on to one of the main straights here at Interlagos. The driver's going to make sure they stay within the track limits for the exit turn number 3. Oh, wide there for Barracuda. That's going to... Oh no! And he rejoins the circuit unsafely. Whether he lost it, I think he lost control on the outside according from race control. Let's see if we can get a replay. So coming out of turn number 3 down the main straight, he gets a little bit wide. It's just you see where the main rubber is. It goes in a little bit too hot. He's now missing that. He's off the racing line. So he's onto the marbles, goes wide onto the Patronus. You see it's quite bumpy there. The car gets thrown around a bit. He spins, just has a collision with the probably already damaged Team Purple Helmets car, and then is able to carry on. So just hearing from Colin Talbot, one of the drivers for Misfits, who are currently in second place. Where are we? There. Here we are. They do have some light suspension damage as a result of the collision earlier on. So they're toying whether to repair that or not. And Colin said if he's driving next, it definitely needs to be repaired. So that will cost them some time in the pits. So Pulp Friction, our race leader, is looking really pretty in first place. They don't have a huge amount of damage as far as we're aware. They've got a good gap of 5 seconds. We know Misfits are going to drop back a bit when they come into the pits for repairs. Team Simply Race might be okay as well. We're not sure about the status of their damage as well, because they had a collision on the opening lap with Scuderia Skittles. We'll try and find out whether what the plan is for that team on board with the Corvette, the Nvidia sponsored Corvette. So here is the BMW Z4 train of Team Turnbull in 6th place, Team NKL in 7th place, and the team we're on board with, Barracuda, who had a collision a few moments ago with purple helmets, in 8th place. So apologies for lack of communication there, guys. We just had an issue with Team Purple Helmets simulator, so their pedals are no longer working, unfortunately. So we've switched them to our spare simulator, pod number 11, which will update the overlay in a second. It says they're currently in third place, spare simulator, but they will be in 5th place in a second. And we're just waiting for race control to call it to be green again. Okay, and drivers back up to full racing speed. Pulp Friction are our race leaders at the moment, which is this beautiful Friction car, the Porsche, followed by Friction Racing in second. Both of those teams took full advantage of the restricted speed available to them in the break just then. And they made sure they pitted, as did Team Simply Race. Unfortunately, we have got Anthony Jordan driving now, and he is a little bit all over it. And the Team Purple Helmets car, which is now blue, is in 4th place, bearing down on him. Hopefully, Jack manages to make a manoeuvre that doesn't result in taking another driver off the circuit this time. I'm sure he'll thank me for that subtle dig later on. But it is close between these two drivers. It is probably the closest battle on the circuit at the moment. I can see also on the timing screens, I think Anthony would be best placed to let him go past there. So Team Simply Race, they've got our least experienced driver on at the moment, as you can see from the last spin that we had a few moments ago, and now very much under pressure from Team Misfits, which is the Dodge Viper, still driven by or piloted by Callum Cripps. Now the full course yellow situation has given us some interesting scenarios. So usually without that stop it would have been 2 stops with the fuel, and now you might want to think about doing 3 and short fueling it so you can go a little bit faster, because you've basically got 3 pit stop under full course yellow conditions, and a bit of a dive up the inside from Callum Cripps puts him up into 4th position. Joe, just to answer Dane's question, Revolution Racing are called Team Turnbar today, apparently. I'm not sure why. They changed their name, but that's who you're supporting today, or should be supporting anyway. Apologies to anyone who was watching earlier. We had the play without any communication. Obviously, the team working hard here to make sure we got back up and running as quickly as possible, which meant we didn't have a huge amount of time to keep you guys protected, so apologies for that. On board with Anthony Jordan in Team Simply Race, currently in 5th place. We were at the handover in 2nd, but now down to 5th. Hopefully his stint will be nice and short. So once again, close between our Z4 contingency This is close between Team Turnbar and Barracuda. And they are probably the closest battle on circuit at the moment. Lots of things to look at. I think everyone's taken a pit stop, or have they? No. So maybe Pulp Friction Racing stayed out. They did. Obviously, Spare Simulator, which is now Purple Helmets, which will change over in a second. They have, of course, had a pit stop. They now have fresh tyre and fuel. As do Team Misfits, Simply Race as well. Scooter Race Kit has done 5 pit stops. I think 2 of those were for stop-go penalties. I'm not sure about the other 3, but certainly a few of them were non-racing related. As we approach the 1 hour gone mark at Interlagos. Headlights on, not really sure that's entirely necessary. It's still quite sunny there. There's a few clouds in the sky, you can see. There's the camera. The weather will change across the race. There will be various incidents, I'm sure. I think there's a very low chance of rain towards the end of the race, but certainly the track conditions themselves will change. First of all, it will become more rubbered in, which will give the drivers more grip. But there'll also be more marbles off the line, which will cause a bit of understeer for the drivers if they go slightly off the edge of the track, or off the edge of the racing line, I should say. "31 laps completed so far, so we've got 4 minutes to go to the 2 hour mark. 1 hour mark gone, 2 hours remaining. So that should put us on course for about 100 laps in today's race. 100 laps roughly equates to, I think, 250 miles for today's race. There's the copter cam. You can see just how sideways some of these cars get on the exit to the slower corners. Much more pinned in the fast corners. Those nice big rear wings that you get. And elsewhere, we are looking at quite a close battle here between Team Purple Helmets, who are catching Friction Racing. Good move up the inside there from Jack Ashton in the Aston Martin. Takes the position. Oh, and Darren's, I think that's Darren Kirk in the car at the moment. He's lost control under pressure after that good dive up the inside from Jack Ashton. Maybe it took him a little bit by surprise. So we've got an updated overlay now. So Pole Friction in first place, followed by Purple Helmets in second. Then we got the second Friction Racing car in third position. Then we've got Team Misfits in fourth. Team Simply Race losing a bit of ground with Anthony Jordan currently driving, lapping 3 seconds off the pace in fifth place. Team NKL in 6th place, catching Team Simply Race at the moment. Barracuda in 7th, Team Turnbar in 8th, and Scuderia Skittles in 9th position. The second Team Pebble Helmets you can see on the side is the retired car of Team Pebble Helmets, which is due to some damage to the actual simulator itself. So mechanical failure in a simulated race. The drivers of Pebble Helmets are now in the number 11 car, which is a blue car, unfortunately. No more purple for that team today. 1 minute left until the 2-hour mark. The teams are going to be a bit out of kilter here. Stops at different times from some of the teams. Some of them haven't stopped at all. Different, and some are on fresh tyres. What is pretty much certain is that I'm pretty sure that most teams, if not all the teams, have to do 2 more pit stops, we believe. Sorry, 1 more pit stop. Sorry, 2 pit stops. It would be impressive if any of the teams are able to do just 1 more pit stop between now and the end, and that might find them a huge amount of time. However, we're not certain about that at the moment. So 5 minutes under the 2 hour mark, and Purple Helmets are our new race leaders. Just spoken to Purple Helmets. Where are we? There they are, Purple Helmets in the blue car. After their will also be receiving a 15-second. It's not for any race when they were put back in position, but we give them enough of a from the high up on position, so the team understands. So the next time these guys come in to pit, they will be held for an additional 15 seconds to put them back into alignment with the other teams. Now the team that they had an incident with earlier on in the race, Team Misfits, still going very well in second place. Oh, there's a bit of close racing going on here between the Z4s. Z4s are keeping us entertained today in the mid-pack. This is on board then with Barracuda in the number 6, fighting the number 3 car of Team NKL. These drivers are both 1 lap down at the moment. Still plenty of time to go, but close. And is he going to make a dive there? That was a bit ambitious. Lots of intakes of breath on me. It was going to be a collision. There's also elsewhere. There's also close between Friction Racing and Pulp Friction as well. Friction Racing have just got past, I think. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. So coming into turn 1, this is the number 8 car of Friction Racing. I think it was it was in the pits. So one of those teams, or both of those teams, have pitted now, and they came out the pits pretty close to each other. And there was an incident between those Z4s that we were watching as well. This is Barracuda behind, looking to overtake Team NKL. Coming into turn number 1, oh, that's a big dive. Oh, a bit of collision. Spins both the drivers out. You have to hope that that position was given back. I'm just going to watch a replay again. It's coming into turn number 1. New Barracuda quite far back, on the brakes hard. So after a meeting with the drivers, we've encouraged those teams to swap back around again as we see some on-track action between the two Friction Racing teams, and really close as they come through turn number 4. Pulp Friction ahead of Friction Racing for 4th and 5th place. Incredibly close racing between these guys. Now these two teams, the Friction Racing teams, both didn't stop under the yellow flag conditions, so they're a little bit out of kilter. We think that potentially the other teams are going to need to do 2 more stops anyway, which would mean that Pulp Friction and Friction Racing are a stop ahead of the other drivers. So it's all going to be a little bit strange until we get a little bit further into the race. But at the moment, solid 4th and 5th place regardless for these two teams. I'm sure they're both looking to get on the podium today. Laps gone. Purple Helmets lead by 18 seconds. They will have a 15-second penalty at their next pit stop. That will bring them back into line with the other team. their simulator change. Pop Friction and Friction Racing are our two closest battles on the circuit at the moment, anyway. We'll see a replay of Scuderia Skittles going off circuit, coming down the main straight, or one of the main straights. Ooh, a little bit wiggly under braking. Just a bit too hard into that corner, just a little bit wide. Nothing too major there. So let's have a look at lap times. Lap times on the left hand side, watching it in HD, you can see perfect quality hopefully. The moment Purple Helmets Misfits are racing at pretty much the same speed. Not a lot between the two. There's 700s quicker for Misfits last time round. It's all going to be about strategy between here and the end. So whilst we watch the two Friction Racing Porsches, they're both catching the car ahead, which is the Team Simply Race Corvette, driven by Anthony Jordan. So you may have noticed that Team Simply Race have surrendered a position to Pulp Friction and now are under pressure. Oh, and I think there might have been. Oh, and Team Simply Race are off the track. Oh, and rejoins a little bit dangerously ahead of our race leader, Purple Helmets. So this is Dean Prescott in the number 8 Friction Racing car. Just hearing from their team They're running the harder compound, the S8 tyres. So hopefully, I think from their perspective, they're looking, and as Anthony Jordan goes off again, they're looking to hold on to that one set of tyres until the end of the race, and just need a bit of fuel. So be interesting to see how that strategy works out for them. But that's probably why there is a bit of difference or distance now between the two friction cars. But it's not making it easy for the Purple Helmets team to get past. There are showing yellow flags, but they're not penalised. So there will be no penalty for great move there from around the outside from Jack Ashton in the Aston Martin. I'd like to see. So I think there's an incident actually. Sorry, let's have a watch of the Corvette of Team Simply Race spinning under no real pressure at all. Elsewhere, I think we just had Pulp Friction go off track. Whether it was dramatic or not, let's have a look. This is our fourth place team, I think, or third or fourth place. Sorry, I think it happens in a minute, maybe. Coming to the last corner, and yeah, nothing major. They might get a warning for track limits there. The drivers have to make sure that they don't do that consistently, because if they do, they will get themselves an automatic stop-go penalty as Team Simply Race go off the track again. There's a bit of contact there between the Corvettes, Team Simply Race, and the Dodge Viper. The Vet had just been lapped by the Viper. It was a bit naughty from driver Anthony Jordan. So good pace then from Team Misfits in the Viper. Trading good lap times with Purple Helmets. Purple Helmets have stepped up here with a 31.677. But there's still a relatively stable gap between these two teams. It will certainly be interesting between these guys after the penalty that will be issued for the Purple Helmets team. It's not a penalty, it's just a sporting penalty. That's actually a mistake from the Simply Race team, letting him go earlier than he was supposed to after a simulator change. And that will be served at the next pit stop. Hopefully we'll see a good lap time from Callum Cripps when he actually gets some clean air for once. Held up quite a lot by the Simply Race car, the Corvette, last time round, driven by Anthony Jordan. Still close between the two, well, two of the three BMW Z4s in the GT class. We've got Barracuda following very closely the Team NKL team. We'll go on board with them now. Growl of the Z4. A bit wide for both drivers really there. It shows how much if you get onto the marbles on the outside where there isn't quite so much wrong with it, just cause that a little bit of understeer. That really compounds somewhat. So anyone who's watching, let me know if the mic cuts out again. Hopefully it doesn't again. So Tristan, yeah. So just to confirm, Colin is with the Team Misfits. He hasn't gone in yet. So his team are currently in second place with Callum Cripps at the wheel at the moment. The purple purple helmets lap times are currently half a second quicker than anyone else on the track. Listen, good lap times at the moment from Barracuda, 32.853, isn't that far off going for fourth place. They're in the 32s as well. So good job to whoever's driving and piloting that car at the moment. So maybe go a little bit wide. They're going to get track limits violation soon if they keep doing that. To confirm what happened to purple helmets, there are two purple helmets teams. The one at the lead is the one in the lead, the real one, and the second one at the bottom is their old simulator where they managed to break one and the pedals broke on them. So we'll switch them to a different sim and we'll get those fixed for the next race that we have. So again, hello to everyone who was watching both on YouTube and Facebook. And feel free to shout at us and give us any info you think we need, or want us to answer any questions. We are happy to do so. Still a very consistent gap between these two Z4s. Hasn't really changed at all, which is interesting. I thought it did not change, but there you go. You can see an overview of the venue at the moment. The team is gathering, watching the racing live. It's great keeping top of the gaps between the teams. Still 22 seconds between the top two teams. Misfits have dipped into 31s, Pulp Fiction in 31s, Friction Racing in the 31s, Simply Race are in the 34s as driven by Anthony Jordan. Team NKL, 6th place, 33s last time round, Barracuda 33.4, Turnbar 35.4, and Schooner Skittles, a nice lap time there, 32.6. 0.3. So purple helmets, our race leaders, I believe, currently in the pits, getting serviced. So just a reminder, they are getting an extra 15 seconds on top of the normal pit time, and that is to make up for their driver change. Sorry, they changed to a different simulator, and we put them back out in the correct position, but we didn't put them in the right gap. So they have to wait for an extra 15 seconds, and that's what Lee is making sure happens now. You can see so purple helmets now in second place, so Misfits leading by quite a bit. Purple helmets are going to come back out in second place though, I think. Oh, here's our third place team, Pulp Friction. They're going to be coming across the start finish line now, and just as the Aston leaves turn number 1, And there goes the Aston. And in the background in a second, you will see, we should see, there you go, just in the background you can see the Friction Racing Porsche. And that is in, Pulp Fiction, Porsche, with Friction Racing just going past us now in 4th place. So still close. We still think that Purple Helmet's going to have to do one more stop anyway. So these guys are all in the same pit window, but we think, well, obviously Purple Helmets have got newer, fresher tyres, but they still will need to do one more stop, as will Pulp Friction and Friction Racing. So Peter, the majority of these teams will be doing the 24-hour race. In fact, there is only one team that are in this race that aren't doing the 24-hour. That's Scuderia Skittles. Down. Team Misfits will be slightly different, completely different. Only Colin Talbot, who hasn't actually been out on circuit yet, will be part of that team. Callum Cripps is going to be part of Team Simply Ace, so he's abandoned ship with Team Misfits and moved over to last 24-hour race winning team with Michael Epps and Bradley Philpott. So I think they were also looking to get, they're going to have, I believe Arnaud Tinet is going to be coming as well over from France, hopefully, and I think they're looking for one more driver as well, but I'm not sure who that will be. But it's still a fair while away in November. It was only 4 months away, actually. It seems coming up much closer than I remember it. So this is the race. Well, it was the race leading car. This is now second place car, Team Purple Helmets. Obviously their last lap, really quite a long one, 2:49, but they did have full amount of fuel going in there and a new set of boots as well. Let's just see how the gaps develop between top 4 teams. Top 4 teams are all pretty much in sync at the moment. So Misfits should be pitting, I imagine, soonish. Within the next 10 minutes or so, I would have thought. Unless they're going to try and stretch their fuel a little bit and only do one more pit stop. So that's going to be down to the teams. Coasting and saving fuel worked very well for Jack Ashton in our NASCAR race during the week. He managed to make, I think it was 30 laps of fuel last for 45. And he was leading by a lap, but managed to just about lead and stay with enough fuel to take that victory on Wednesday night. And the reverse might happen to him here with the Team Misfits, if they can manage to sort of coast and save enough fuel. That's the you see the gradient change at turn 1, which what makes it so difficult, tough to judge. So let's see if we can switch to one of the overview cameras. good news, everyone. I will be I'll be racing in a second. We're getting rid of Anthony Jordan in the Viper. Not the Viper, the Corvette. There we go. This is the car I'll be driving in a minute. So any more any more incidents, that's going to be me in a minute. So you can laugh at me instead.
So then, welcome back, ladies and gents, watching the stream this evening from home. Ben's not commentating anymore, it's DJ now. Ben's in the pod 1, which we're looking at now. with 1 hour 21 minutes remaining. Currently on lap 60, Team Misfits in the lead. 1 minute behind them in second place, we have Purple Helmets. 1 minute 12 as Team Simply Race spin there at turn 1. A lot of grief going towards Ben. Also the BMW Z4 in front, also going for a spin by the looks of it as well. Pulp Friction currently in third place, 1 minute 11 down from the race leaders. Friction Racing in fourth, Team NKL in fifth, Barracuda in sixth as Simply Race goes wide again there. Team Turnbar in seventh, Team Simply Race now running in eighth. Scuderia Skittles in ninth, and Purple Helmets, I think we have 2 Purple Helmets there, yes. So the actual Purple Helmets running in second place. I believe the Purple Helmets was a crash we had earlier, so please ignore the 10th place one there. As we're looking at this battle here, we have Simply Race in the Corvette, the car in front, Team Turnbar, who is in 7th place, so this battle is for position. As Team Turnbar coming to the penultimate corner. Back onto the start-finish straight now. Just listening behind me there, some of the other teams encouraging Ben to send it down the inside of the Team Turnbar BMW Z4, but him promptly saying no about it. Little flash of the headlights there from Team Simply Race. I do believe this may be the closest battle out on the circuit. We'll try to see if we can find a closer one. There is one, but it does look like this is the closest battle out there. So Team Simply Race and Team Turnbar. Team Turnbar taking a very defensive line there, and he spins, gets in front of the Simply Race team there, and it looks like Scuderia Skittles are now catching up, and now right behind Team Turnbar. I think we'll see if we can go for a watch a replay of that. It's on board now, and yes, it's definitely just Team Turnbar getting too much on that curb and just losing that back end there, causing them to spin. So it looks like Scuderia Skittles going for a move down the inside there into the second corner. Bit of contact from the rear from Team Turnbar, but both cars getting around okay. Nobody's spinning just as yet. So we're just coming towards the 1 hour remaining mark as we're on board with Team Misfits. Currently just ahead in third place, Friction Racing, who's currently 29 seconds down from the race leader. Team Misfits 31.8, so still quite a close battle here for third place. As we are on the bonnet view of the Team Misfits Viper, going into the complex of hairpins now in the middle sector of the Interlagos circuit. So you see, just watching a replay there of the Team Simply Race car. The owner of Simply Race, yes, Ben, was driving at the time. Obviously, he is aware that damage is on, and he had a pretty hefty hit with the Armco barrier there. I don't know if that has caused any damage, which he'll have to pit for, but it did look at quite a slow speed, so I think the only damage he would have got is bodywork damage. I don't think it would have affected any of the suspension or any of the wheel alignment, anything like that. So I think he may have just got away with that one. Just over 50 minutes remaining left of the race. Purple Helmet's leading the way on lap 78, 45 seconds, or 46 seconds now behind them in second place. Team Misfits, Pulp Fiction in third place, 1 minute 26 seconds down. Friction Racing, who we are looking at now, is currently in fourth place. Barracuda in fifth. Team NKL in sixth place. Simply Race in seventh place. Team Turnbar in eighth. Scuderia Skittles in ninth. Currently 5 laps down. So then, with 38 minutes remaining of today's 3-hour endurance race, we're currently looking at Team Purple Helmets, who are 6 seconds down from Team Misfits in first place. Now, Team Misfits, they still need to do one more pit stop before the end of the race. Purple Helmets should now be good until the end of the race. I'm not sure what the situation is with Pulp Friction and their pit lane pit stop strategies at the moment, so I'll have to go for a walk around and see what I can find out. But as it stands, it's looking like Purple Helmets could take the win, as I've got Callum Cripps from Team Misfits looking over me now, who's currently leading, but obviously still have a pit stop to do. You are leading. Oh, they thought they were second. Didn't even know. That's how good they are with their strategies. Team Misfits, they're confident that they're going to win, but with one more pit stop to do, you don't know yet. You don't know if last lap. So we're going to see a repeat of what happened in our NASCAR night, where Jack Ashton rolls across the line with 0 fuel. You never saw it. You were in Spa doing some proper racing there, but that would be a disaster. So Team Purple Helmets now just 1.3 seconds behind Team Misfits Viper, which you can see there in the shot. So if we go on bonnet view with Purple Helmets, that is the gap for the race lead on lap 88, now just 7/10 of a second. Gap closing every corner. Now right behind him now, just 0.4 of a second behind. Oh, getting very close there to the back of the Viper. Viper getting a bit loose there at the edge of that curve, going into the last couple of corners now. Because you want to be getting a good exit out of this corner, because then you've got all the way up this hill onto the start-finish straight. You really don't want a bad exit onto that corner. But, so the Misfits Viper with a great drive out of that corner, increasing that gap. Coming in on the brakes now. It's the first corner and getting very close there, the Purple Helmets. Aston Martin there now. Back round. So while I've just been talking strategy with the other members of the single race team, the race for first place has been hotting up, just 0.4 of a second. A lot of shouting between the teams, between pods, looking for a move down the inside here. It's not a corner you'd overtake, he goes for the move, bit of contact there. But they have let the place back through, so Misfits still in the lead there. So with 31 or 32 minutes remaining, this battle for first place is definitely hotting up. Apparently some of the drivers want to see a replay of what happened between these two. So if we go back, as the purple helmets definitely do take a bit of a nudge there. As we go back, definitely looks like he comes in. He was on the inside, so not quite sure what we could do, but it doesn't look like a penalty will be given out. He is on the inside. Bit of contact. Position was that back through. I think we shall leave it as it stands and let the battle continue, as it just looks like Team Purple Helmets and Misfits battling for position again. As we go now on board again with Purple Helmets. Get this drive up the hill, then remember it's brake down for this very tight corner. It's about second gear, first gear for sometimes, but you're getting that power back on, going through all the gears around this very fast left-hander. As we're now hitting the 30 minutes remaining mark. Viper once again with a great drive through the penultimate corner onto the start finish straight. Misfits Viper getting very loose there, just missing the apex in that first part, but definitely getting that onto the very long and fast back straight. Braking again down now into third, on second gear, very fast left-hander again. Again back up through the gears as we come into the middle section of track. It's a very technical part of the circuit this. Again, the Misfits Viper taking a very tight racing line there. Good defensive line. And again, the Purple Helmets, Aston Martin just getting very close there under the braking. Again, as we start breaking through those gears. And back down them into second gear around this last corner, and then to the gear. Bit of a wide exit there from the Viper. So the Aston's got a good run on him. Will he have a look down the inside into the first corner? So we're going through the gears now. It's getting very close. The Aston Martin can brake much later than the Viper. And he has a look down the inside. He makes the move. It's a good move there. No contact, and the Aston Martin for Team Purple Helmets takes the lead, with the Viper just behind, but the Viper not letting go just quite yet. The Viper with a great drive out of the exit of the second corner, right in the slipstream of Purple Helmets, looks to the inside, breaks down, bit of contact there. Definitely have to have a look at that one, but bit of contact, so Team Misfits retakes the lead. And again, Purple Helmets having a quick look down the inside there. Doesn't make a move just yet. stays behind into this tricky complex where he did go for a move earlier, where there was a slight bit of contact. Now, we do have to remember that the Aston Martin off Purple Helmets has got enough fuel to finish the race. We're not quite sure on the Team Misfits Viper, but it looks like it's going to be the Aston Martin also on much fresher tyres, looking around the outside, not close enough. As we again go back onto the back straight. Misfits Viper using all the track there. As we go down. Again, Viper very early on the brakes, taking a nice defensive line there. Aston Martin looking for the cutback. Looking down the inside again into the second part. They're side by side now as we're coming into this complex. So the Aston's just tucked in behind. Again, the purple helmets there. Saying in the background there is, how is that Viper so quick out the corners, where it has to brake so early into them, but it gets a great drive out of the corners. Aston Martin again just slightly the opposite, can brake much later but doesn't get that much of a great exit. So with the Team Misfits driving very defensively as we go for the aerial view here into the last corner, onto the start finish straight. As we go by now, heading back onto the start finish straight, past the paddock, very close there, as we have now 25 minutes remaining. Purple helmets closing that gap there, under braking. So as I said earlier, that Viper does brake so early into the corners, but then obviously gets that great drive, so the gap always closing into the corners, but then goes straight back to how it was when we get to the exit. As again there, the gap closing up, then the Viper just has the legs on the Aston. So this battle between Team Misfits and Purple Helmet is slowly bringing Pulp Friction back into the race. Now just 13 seconds behind these guys. Now just 12 seconds actually, and that gap is closing. So they rule out Pulp Friction for a win. I don't know how their tyres and fuel. But as we do know that Team Purple Helmets car will make it to the end of the race. As we go under the braking, very close there, very late braking there from the Purple Helmets. Some great defensive driving from Colin Talbot in the Team Misfits Viper. Again, back onto the back straight there. And again, having a look down the inside, trying to make a run, goes down the outside. Slight bit of contact. Goes wide. Again, great driving from the Misfits Viper. Holding on to that lead.
I can't believe he's still in
The gap now for Pulp Friction is now down to 11 or 10 seconds. It's going through 11 at 10 seconds, so we could see the Pulp Friction Porsche come into view any lap now. Back onto the start-finish straight. The Viper with a great exit. As we go on board with the Purple Helmets Vipe, Aston Martin. Down into the first corner. Onto the brakes, and he brakes a bit late. Almost ploughs straight into the back of the Viper. Just manages to just avoid it. And to stay very close behind in second place. As he may do the same move he did the last time. Looks to the inside. Hopes the Viper goes to cover and pulls dummy and has a look round the outside. Can't just quite do it. Looks for the cutback, but the Viper gets such a good exit. Just no move to be had there. So back onto the stop-finish straight. Aston very close behind. Could make a move down the inside into the first corner. Obviously this Aston Martin could be very late on the brakes. He's got a good run, he is slightly catching. Looks to the inside. Onto the brakes, there's a bit of contact, so they spin off! And they crash, which means the Pulp Friction car, 5 seconds, 4 seconds. 3 seconds is catching. And is there damage? Yes. Damage, of course, is on, and the Pulp Friction car there is in the background. So we have to keep a close eye on this. The Pulp Friction car could be the favourite to win, yes. Oh, and they've taken each other out again. So the Pulp Friction car takes the lead. We definitely will be having to review some of these replays. I don't know if that second accident was caused because of damage from the first one. So under the braking, that the car could have just wildly gone off to the left under braking, which is very highly with any suspension damage. So you see the Misfits Viper there. Slight contact under the braking. So reviewing the replays there, quite unsure of what route we're going to go down just yet. It looks like the first incident at turn 1, it looks like the purple helmets looks like take the fault, and then at the second one it looks like Team Misfits that it looks like it is at fault. But it looks like the purple helmets have got away without any damage. They're still going around. And this is now the battle for first place. So Pulp Friction now leading on lap 100 with 16 minutes remaining, and just 5 tenths now of a second between them and first place. So, after a very explosive first place battle there between Team Misfits and Purple Helmets, after Team Misfits coming in to sort their damage out, they've actually ended up with a 10-second stop-go for speeding in the pit lane. So it came way too quick as the Purple Helmets Aston goes for a dive down the inside of Pulp Friction. Pulp Friction looking to get the cutback, but have got the outside line around that first corner in the slipstream. Looking at the outside, runs wide, slightly goes on the grass. They're side by side now as coming in through the back straight. Aston Martin's got the inside line, still holds the position. Again, the Porsche just holding back. This battle is not over yet, so that Porsche still very close. now with Pulp Friction 0.2 of a second behind the Aston Martin of purple helmets as we're back onto the start-finish straight. Pulp Friction looking like they have a good drive as they just cut across that white line. They've got a great run now, so looking to the inside into turn 1, defended by purple helmets just a bit earlier on the brakes. So staying nice and clean, not quite close enough for a move yet. The gap just increasing there on the exits onto the back straight. As we go back onto the start-finish straight, Pulp Friction 0.2 of a second behind. They've run lap 104 with just under 10 minutes remaining. And the Porsche again with a great drive into the first corner. Aston Martin going very defensive on that inside line, and the Porsche get the cut back. He looks at it. Just staying behind as they're back onto the back straight. Not looking down onto this corner. The Porsche was very good on the brakes there. About the same as the Aston there. Action Racing currently now in third place, 14 seconds behind these guys, as the Aston gets very curb happy there. Just not as close as it was the last lap there. We won't be looking down the inside on this lap. We're back onto the start-finish straight now. Pulp Friction Porsche getting very close under the braking there into the last corner. We're now back onto the start-finish straight. Very close again from Pulp Friction. They're probably going to be looking down the inside for a move. So the Aston's gone defensive down the inside, looking around the outside as they're going down into the first corner. Again, it's not the best corner to try and get the cut back on. But the Porsche's got a great exit out the first corner. He's now right behind the Aston, as they're now... The Aston again goes defensive. Porsche with a great drive. Side by side now going into this left-hander. And the... move. Is incredibly... The Aston just didn't clip the back of him there, sending him in a spin. So it's incredibly lucky there. Tail happy there around the corner, so that Aston Martin right behind, not going to be happy, and is definitely going to be fighting back at some point. So they'll have to keep a very close eye on this one. The Friction Racing in third place, 15 seconds or 16 seconds behind, as we're going now on to lap 108 with 5 minutes remaining. Purple helmets trying to brake very late there into the first corner, sliding and losing some precious time there. Gap now between Pulp Friction in first place and Purple Helmets in second is now to 1.5 seconds. So the Pulp Friction car definitely pulling away there. Rate of knots. So we have ultimate lap right now. So Pulp Friction, as you can see there, it's in the from this car that we're on board with, purple helmets. In third place, 22 seconds further down the road, is Friction Racing. So as we now start our final lap, so the purple helmets are going to be thinking, send it a lot in this last lap, as they slightly go a bit wide there. It's loose under braking, the Pulp Friction Porsche. Now nearly 3 seconds ahead. Just see it further ahead now. So now as we look at the Pulp Friction Porsche, very close looking to the Friction Race Porsche. The only slight difference is the edging is a different colour, where the Pulp Friction has got the light blue there, as you can see, and the Friction Racing, where it's light blue on this car, is a very bright fluorescent yellow. So that's how you can. So Pulp Friction in the lead. Looks like there is a back marker just ahead. Hopefully he does get out the way, as this would be a disaster coming into the last corner, as he does there. This is very well done by the Z4 there. So round the last corner, Pulp Friction in their Porsche with a fantastic overtake at the end of the back straight to take the lead. Only about 5 laps ago, as they come round the last corner to take the checkered flag, as there is round of applause in the background as Pulp Friction finish second place, purple helmets. We're now looking at Friction Racing, who are coming round the last corner, and there you can see the yellow wing mirrors and bumper there, which tells the difference between the Pulp Friction and Friction Racing cars. As Friction Racing take third place across the line. We're now looking at fourth place Team NKL, who are just coming around the last section now. 1 lap down, so they're on lap 110, whereas the cars in front were all on 111 laps. So some of the other teams finishing while we're off shot. So Team Simply Race have finished in 7th, finished in 8th place. On lap 110, taking 5th, and Misfits, after battling for the lead. And now the final car crossing the line, weaving away and crashing away. So very well done to all teams today taking part in the Simply Ace 3 hour at Interlagos, which of course this is all practice for our upcoming 24-hour in November, which is going to be these cars and on this track. So very well done. Thank you very much for watching this evening, and hopefully we shall see you again soon for our next round of SRTCC or SRWC. So thank you very much, and good night from Simply Race.